Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm Michael Mummert. I work for Capstone Building Corp, and I'm the Senior Vice President of Pre-Construction.
Great, nice to meet you. My name is Kavita Vasil. I'm the head of school at Highlands. And I discovered we have something in common. I understand that your company, Capstone, does a lot of university projects all over the country.
We do.
And I think one of them may have been in Gainesville, Florida, at the University of Florida.
Yes.
And I'm a Gator, and I grew up there. My parents were professors there, so it's a small world.
It is. It is. Yeah, we do a lot of student housing, multifamily housing, condos. So we kind of focus on multifamily projects. It's kind of a niche we started in about 1997, and that's kind of what we focus on. So,
And how long have you been with the company?
I've been there 13 years. Been in Birmingham for 13 years, so it's been good. I've been there since I've been out of college, so it's kind of all I know, and Birmingham as well. And how about you?
So I have been in Birmingham for a year, just completed my first year at Highlands School, and I originally grew up in Gainesville. My parents taught at the university, and spent the last 24 years in Sarasota, Florida.
Oh, wow.
So it was a big deal for me to leave that and come to Highlands, but it is just a magical place, and I'm just so grateful and happy to be here.
Yeah. What brought you here? Do you have family in the area? Or?
I have a fiance who's originally from Alabama,
Oh, really?
and we had talked about maybe one day moving here and sort of didn't give it a second thought. And the search firm that the school used for the search I was familiar with, and one day the posting just came up and I looked at it and I said, look at this position in Birmingham, what do you think? And one thing led to another, and came on a visit here and fell in love with the school and knew not a lot about Birmingham and fell in love with the city, and it's just been a fabulous year, so really excited.
Good. You mentioned your parents were in education. I guess that's what kind of led you into the education field?
Parents are actually in the sciences, and I decided after watching them in the hardcore sciences I wanted to do something completely different. So went into psychology and education, and decided that I sort of wanted to be in on the ground level. So I taught for years at the University Lab School, and then went into administration.
Okay.
And I also noticed that your degree is in building design.
It is. Yes, building science is the degree, and it's a program at Auburn University, and it focuses on building design and construction. So that's what my degree is in. It's kind of a mixture between architecture and engineering as far as the course curriculum, and graduated in that, and went into project management construction.
So I'm always curious as an educator how people choose their careers or their focus of study. Was that something that you were interested in as a child that just continued on?
Yeah, just the building, something from nothing was always an interest as a child. And, growing up working for residential contractors, a couple of my friends' dads built houses, in our city. So that's kind of how I got initially started. Went to Auburn not knowing what I was going to do, and actually didn't even realize building science existed. So when I found out about it, this just seemed like a natural fit for me, and it's worked out well.
Worked out really well.
Yeah, it has.
We at Highlands, we focus on what's considered, well, not just at Highlands, schools are all over are focusing on what's considered 21st century skills. And a lot of those are communication, collaboration, creativity, critical thinking. And so one of our initiatives this year is we're going to have a full-blown STEM program that combines the content areas of science and engineering, technology, math. And I would imagine that building science is an area that encompasses a lot of that. And so we're excited because it gives our students an opportunity to really collaborate together as a team, which is what they're going to need to do when they get out into the world. And focus on sort of a more multidisciplinary approach. So we took some current spaces and converted them into STEM labs, and we're really excited to see where that's going to take us.
Wow. How has technology affected education?
I think it's affected education immensely. I think that, like all things, you need to use it as a tool. I think it's really important that children, kids know so much more about technology than we as adults do, so it's a constant learning curve for us as faculty, as teachers, to make sure we're getting a lot of professional development, but it's embedded into every content area that we teach. So tell me about some of your current projects that you're working on and where they're based.
Yeah, right now we're based out of Birmingham, Alabama, and we've worked historically anywhere from California to Connecticut. So we've worked across the nation. Currently, we're in Charlotte, North Carolina. We just completed a project recently in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. We've got one in Mount Juliet, Tennessee, Ottawa, Tennessee, and we just closed on a project that's coming up in Lexington, Kentucky that we're real excited about. It's a mixed-use project. It's a mixture of retail, multifamily, and we're really excited about that project. It's going to be a good job for us. I was just curious what the advantages were of a private school and kind of how the curriculums differ from public school, public education.
It's a great question. At Highlands, we have, the school is preschool through 8th grade, and we actually have a full-time child care center for students that are infants, toddlers, 2s and 3s, and then we have 310 students in 4K through 8th grade.
Oh, wow.
I'm a big proponent of a kindergarten through 8th grade model, and I think some of the advantages of a private school, we are not restricted by any regulations. So we're not restricted by government regulations. We have a lot more autonomy in terms of the curriculum, how we want to teach the curriculum, what type of curriculum we use. We have a lot more autonomy in terms of teachers and faculty and hiring and evaluations. And I think the advantage for students, which is why we're all there in the end, is that private schools typically keep class sizes down, student-teacher ratios are low, so you can really focus in on meeting the different needs of children. And we understand that all children come to us differently, and one size certainly does not fit all. So by having small class sizes and low student-teacher ratios, you can really focus on the curriculum, but also on the individual child. So it's much more than the academics. It's about focusing on the affective development, their social emotional development, when they're having issues, when they're having problems, really taking the time to make that a priority as a teacher and as a school. And I think another huge advantage, and one of the main reasons I was drawn to Highlands, is that sense of community. 310 students, about 200 plus families. It's large enough so you get a large social pool, but it's also small enough where you really have that sense of community and that understanding that we really do all take care of each other and we're there for each other. And I think that's huge for a school that you're going to be a part of for a long time.
Right. Yeah, I think that's very important. And actually that family feel is actually one thing that drew me to Capstone, because we're a smaller company. We've only got about 40 employees. And, everybody knows each other. Everybody works well together. And we really all feel like we're, a part of a team and real close. So it's kind of the same thing. So.
I think in the end it really comes down to interpersonal relationships, whether it's between families or teachers and families and students. And the more you can really focus on that and really work as one community together, which it sounds like you have at Capstone, I just think that for us, preparing the students for the future that they're going to walk into, having that sense of taking care of one another and being together and working together is huge. So having been in Birmingham only a year, I'm still discovering, and there's so many wonderful things to see and places to go. What are some of your favorite things that you'd like to do when you're not at work?
There's a lot of new things coming to the city, especially downtown. There's a lot of things going on with the new Regents Field that was completed a few years ago. The entertainment districts that are opening up here at Uptown. A lot of multi-family projects are going on downtown right now. So it's just a unique small town atmosphere in a larger city. So there's something for everybody, I guess.
Definitely. And I think one of the other areas that I was really interested in moving here is that there's such a large university system here. And so that was really important to me in the sense of making sure that our students get outside of the four walls of the classroom or even outside the school campus and have an opportunity to collaborate and talk to experts and see all the possibilities that are out there in terms of future careers or areas that they may be of interest in. So it just seems like a very cohesive community.
Yeah, it is. I've enjoyed it, and hope you do too.
Well, thank you. It was a pleasure meeting you.
It's nice to meet you.